Well, hey guys, here is my new 6x12 cargo trailer that I picked up last week that I intend to build into a tool trailer for my construction business. I have a job starting in 4 weeks on the Oregon coast, which is about 2.5 hours drive for me. I want to be able to make that trip and know that I've got all of my tools locked up, secure, on the job site, and this is how I'm going to do it. Now, I opted for barn doors instead of a drop-down ramp like my other trailer, and that is so that I can have these open if it's raining and work in and out of this and maybe put a pop-up shade, or I might even come up with something to just set across the doors, but I don't want to ramp down on the ground getting rained on. So I went with barn doors. So far I'm happy with it. I picked up several of these pack-out mounting plates for my toolboxes and my parts bins and everything else. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos to kind of get ideas for how I want to set this up. I'm sure it's something that's going to change over time, but basically I want to have a workbench on this side with storage for my tools. On this side I want to create a narrow, tall box that I can put 8-foot sheet goods like plywood and drywall, slide it in there, and I don't have to try and tighten it down or strap it down. I can just lay it in there and it'll be kind of secured. Better lighting is a must. I'll probably put some sort of onboard battery system. I've even got some solar panels I might put on the roof. Spare tire I'm going to move out to the tongue. Security is a huge issue and a concern. I have a friend that just had his tool trailer stolen about 10 miles from here last week. I bought this heavy-duty tongue lock that locks over the tongue. It also allows you to lock the hooks for your safety chains in with it, because what they did with my friend's trailer, he had a tongue lock on it. They just hook the safety chains up and drive away with it until they can get to a spot where they can mess with it. On top of that, I have redundant GPS and cellular tracking on it. Different units, so in case one's discovered, they might not find the next one. It would be pretty hard to do and definitely impossible to remove on the spot. But the first thing I want to do, while it's still nice and clean, is I want to paint this floor. I've got some paint from a job that was kind of the wrong color. It's just interior house paint, but it'll help seal up this floor. I may put a covering over this eventually, but for now a coat of paint will help out quite a bit. These rails are siliconed in. I'm not going to break that silicone. I'm just going to peel them back so that I can get paint under there without getting it on the aluminum. Well, phase one of the transformation is complete. I painted the doors as well. Floor's all painted. I haven't painted the walls because there's a good chance I'm going to replace that super thin paneling with something a little more substantial. I need to watch the weight though, because I've ordered a new pickup that I'll be towing this with most likely. It's a compact pickup with not a super high towing capacity, but it gets over 40 miles to the gallon, so I want to keep the weight down as much as possible. Alright guys, well, it's been a few days since I painted. Everything's dry, of course. I've been watching a bunch of videos trying to get ideas for how to set up this tool trailer, and something I haven't seen anybody do, and maybe there's a reason. I'll find that out soon enough. But I was thinking, why not put a couple of these on the door and maybe some battery mounts so that when I'm on a job, I can put stuff that I know I'm going to need on this door. That way I can come out to the trailer, just whip the door open, grab what I need and go. So I'm going to mount a couple of these plates, and I've got some battery mounts. Let's set that up and see why it won't work. I got some 1 5/8 screws. I'm hoping they're not too long. Jackpot. have to get some self-tappers for those. Put one more shoe though. That'll work, huh? I like it. One more right here. Heck yeah. I don't know why that won't work. I think that'll work. Well, if you can think of why this is a bad idea, let me know in the comments. I don't necessarily need to travel with things hooked to the door, although I don't really think it is going to matter much. I have another one of the M12 mounts, and then I've got 7 more of these M18 mounts that I will put up close to where I have a charger or two set up. But I think that's a win right there. All right, what's next? All right, guys, well, what I have here is a 14-foot long conference table that I built at the beginning of this year, and it was the end of my furniture making career. I spent about 2 months building this in my shop, and I delivered it, set it up, and within a week, the table cupped really bad, and a couple of the seams started to come apart on this pine table. This table is 4 feet wide, and I built another one out of the exact same wood that was 5 feet wide and 13 feet long. Had 0 issues with it. I don't know what happened to this one. All the moisture contents were the same. The boards are a little bit wider on this one, but again, it's all the same material. I went and picked this table up and did not collect $7,000. So I am going to cut this into a workbench for my tool trailer. It has the simulated live edge that I carved out by hand. I'm going to take a section out of this corner of the table, so when it flips around into the trailer, I've got this faux live edge exposed, and it should look kind of nice. All right, so I've cut and drilled a bunch of these brackets that I'm going to mount to the steel studs behind the wall, and then the tabletop will secure to that. So I just need to lay out the height. Oh, right. Well, what we've got here is the frame that was under this table originally that I built. I'm going to cut 2 sections out of this, mount it to the floor, to the wall, and that's going to act as the cage for my sheet goods. And, well, it'll probably make more sense once I get to it, so let's just do it. So I'll weld a tab on here that will mount to the steel stud in the wall, and then I'll weld a flange on the bottom so I can mount that to the floor, and that way my sheet goods can slide in there and be trapped. I'll make one more of these down at the other end, and then these tabs that used to bolt to the table, I'll screw into a 2x4 on the end and just have kind of some rails in between these two, give it some rigidity and a surface that I can mount something to. And then obviously I got to move that spare tire, but let's try it out. All right, pretend I got a big heavy full sheet of plywood here. Slide that in, and then it can lean up against the wall, and I can run in the next one and the next one. I think this is going to work nicely. Then to get them out, I can take them one at a time. I could also probably fit a door or two in here, but I'm actually planning on doors going on the outside, and I bought some tie down hooks so that I can strap a door up against these. But yeah, all right. Oh, like a glove. Perfect. Alright guys, well, off camera I've done a few things. I mounted up kind of a shelf wall system up on top there. I've added a piece of paneling on the floor so that when I'm loading my sheet goods in, they'll slide a little bit better than just on the painted plywood floor. And then I added some, I don't know, 1/2 inch plywood to the 3/8 that's here, or whatever this is, 1/4 inch. And I screwed it through the metal framework, mounted a couple of pack out plates, and now I'm going to mount these battery keepers. I'm thinking towards the back here so I can reach them without having to get into the trailer. I really like how these things have these notches to space them out perfectly. That is pretty slick. Got some D-rings here that I'm going to mount up top and bottom on these posts, and that way when I'm hauling doors I can put I can lean the doors up against these and strap them down. Just like that. Excellent. Now, for lighting, I bought some of these LED, I don't know what you call them, strips, fake neon, whatever, that I wanted to mount underneath these shelves, but they're just not as bright as I was hoping they would be. So I'm going to have to come up with something different. These are not going to work. But they do all kinds of neat things. If I needed some mood lighting. Well guys, I've been working on the trailer here for 2 weeks now, and it has worked awesome. I'm so happy with how everything is working. There is one thing that I really need to work on though, and that is interior lighting. This little light that came with the trailer just isn't cutting it anymore. I've got all this stuff in the way, and even when it wasn't in the way, this isn't much light. So I have picked up a little kit that I'm going to install right now. It's designed to be a portable camping kit, but I think it's going to work well in here. It came in this little carrying bag, but basically I've got 6 of these extruded aluminum light bars that have plugs on each end, and you can basically string them all together. You've got jumper wires to go between them. You can hook it up to a battery or a cigarette lighter. I'm going to hardwire it to the trailer because I'm hoping to have a totally self-sustained solar battery system on my trailer here soon. So I'm going to lay this out, and I might bring a car battery in here just so I can see how the light falls and how bright these are. So let me get a car battery in here and start laying these out. The kit came with this switch, but it's this weird dial, and it's a dimmer. I don't think I'm ever going to need a dimmer in here. I'll probably just forego that and have an on-off switch. Let's see if it'll work without it. Oh yeah. Not quite as bright as I was hoping, but string a few together and see what happens. They fit kind of perfectly between my... I like to have them at a little bit of an angle. That's not terrible either. Now obviously I could probably get another set of these and expand, but these were kind of expensive for what they are. All right, I'm going to mount 2 under here for starters, and then see where to go next. I'll get these set up and we'll bring you back. Well, that is not terrible. Actually, that's not bad at all. It could be a little brighter, but as far as coming in to get tools or materials or hardware, I can see just fine. I think it's a win. Now, I'm just going to temporarily run it with this battery. I've got a spot right here that I can set this battery for now. It should probably last a really long time with how low voltage these lights are. I am waiting to hear back from a company that has a solar generator that they're offering. And so I will probably wait to finalize where I put an actual switch to figure out where that's going to sit. I don't know how big it is and how much space will be needed for it, but I'd like to have a switch somewhere on this side door and then probably somewhere near the rear doors. But really, if I'm opening the rear doors and it's light out, it'd probably be enough light to see what I got to do. But for now, this is a huge improvement. Not bad. Alright guys, well I've just gotten back from week number 4 on my out-of-town job. The trailer is still working really awesome. I'm figuring out a few other things I'd like to do here and there, but for the most part, this thing has done exactly what I wanted it to do. I've got a door here that I need to do some work on. I got to paint and load up 2 more doors to take back next week. But anyways, I think we're off to a great start. Well, I'll still be working on finding solutions to problems as they arise, but for now, this thing's really working out well. I've got my rolling pack-out boxes here that can pop right out, but I kind of like having them in here like this. I have most of my power tools in both of these in these boxes, but I can just tilt it back, open it up, and grab what I need and put it back. I was thinking about putting some drawers under here, which I might still do for hand tools, screwdrivers, things like that. But this is working out really well for me. I've still got my battery sitting here that I'm hooking my lights up to, but I've got a solution for that will be coming up soon. Well guys, I think that's where we're going to leave this one. I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments if you can think of something that I need to add here. I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now of what's next for this trailer.